What is up, everybody?
Right.
Welcome back to another Ask a Fence Gal Friday, coming to you live from the Ozark Fence Studio.
Yes, happy Friday. We made
it. Day till it's Halloween Eve.
it. It is indeed.
All Hallows Eve.
I think. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
guess because
and
Hallows Eve is Halloween.
Halloween,
right?
yeah. So it's All Hallows Eve.
It's also the last couple days that we can have night or have daytime after work.
Right.
We're gonna lose that.
Oh, every day driving home, like the sun's a little bit closer.
I know.
Just winter's not my favorite for so many different reasons, but one of the main reasons is it's dark when I go to work and it's dark when I come home.
Yes. At least
not my favorite.
We work in an industry where we're outside. There's a lot of people,
true.
that go in and they don't see a whole lot of sunshine all day.
That's right.
So we're definitely lucky there.
But this weekend is daylight savings.
Yes.
So it's fall, so it falls back.
Yes.
So we're going to get another hour of daylight.
That's true.
Isn't that how that works?
It's going to be darker in the mornings, right?
Let me think about this. Nope, it gets dark earlier.
Yes.
Because right now, if it gets dark at 6 o'clock, then when it falls back, it's going to be 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're losing an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, that's a great Friday. What a great Friday thought. All right, welcome, guys. Glad to have you guys here. If I can get my words out correctly.
We got 10. All right.
We got 10 of you.
Heck yeah.
So let's do this, guys, so that we know who's here. Why don't you say hi or give us a hello? Type something in the chat below. That way, because it doesn't really show us. It doesn't say who the 11 folks are that are here. And it shows us thumbs up. So thanks for giving us a thumbs up. But it doesn't say who's giving us the thumbs up. And I want to say thank you.
It's a mystery.
It is. Yeah. But it's not a mercy. You started with that.
Lord have mercy. That's I think what I meant.
So, so talking about Halloween, do you have your Halloween outfit?
I do. Should we give him a sneak peek? Should we surprise him?
Maybe give him a hint. Because here's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Because tonight at the Springfield Cardinals Stadium is Trick or Treat.
That's true.
So we're literally going to wrap up this and then head to the stadium, start getting all set up. Because the kids are going to be ready to go. I think it starts at 4 o'clock. I think the way it's set up is, just to try to be as safe as possible and try to promote distancing as much as possible. There's groups or pods.
Okay.
I think the first pod starts at 4. So,
oh wow, they're ready.
It's coming right up. Yeah, here in about 4 hours. So we're going to have starting in 4 hours, we're going to have about 5 hours of kiddos. It goes from 4 to 9.
Awesome. That's good.
So
that'll be fun.
But anyways, let's give them a little hint. That way, if you guys are watching and you are going to come out and see us at Trick or Treat, a little bit of a hint, but don't give it away.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
It is an animal.
An animal. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. That's good. Now, am I assuming correctly that it's probably an orange animal?
Oh, that's 2 hints, Joe.
Follow your own rules, she says. I like it.
The odds are pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. And so my hint
is what are you doing?
Prehistoric.
I like it. Okay. There's a lot that could be there.
There's a lot.
Okay.
And if you saw, so some people follow us pretty closely for a while. If you saw what I was wearing last year, so we did the Halloween trick or treat at the zoo, Boo at the Zoo.
Boo at the Zoo. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not a great way to try to socially distance folks at the zoo.
Yeah.
So that's not going on this year. But if you did come to the Boo at the Zoo and you saw what it was in last year, it's not that one. And not because I'm wanting to be new and creative, but because I couldn't find it. So.
Well, that was a pretty good one. Hopefully you find it soon.
Let's say hello to a few people. Oh, actually, Sarah's going to do this now.
I'll do this. All right. I don't know if I want to show this first one.
Yeah, you do.
That's Dan. I don't know.
What's up, Dan? He's a fence king.
Hey, Dan.
Hope your Friday's going super well.
Yeah.
Hope so. Dan's down in Louisiana.
Oh,
so hope you guys are safe. Hope you guys are doing well. They've been having storm after storm down there.
That's right. All those tropical storms coming through.
Right. So hope you guys are safe and well.
Yes.
Who else is saying hello to us?
All right. Oh,
Fancy
all
Landsburg. All three.
All three of
We
them.
have Caleb, Ashley, and Mandy.
Yeah, heck yeah. I love it.
I like and see. Notice that they say, "Hey, Joe," and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys.
We'll discuss that later.
Just saying hi to me.
Yeah.
So, oh, we got somebody else.
All right. Oh, all right. We've got Mama Tishel Camp here. It's my friend Gina's mom. Her granddaughter will be in the
right.
first batch.
In the first batch at 4 o'clock.
Heck yeah.
Well,
Tell them
come
to
see
come
us.
say hi.
Yeah,
for
say
sure.
hello.
Yes, introduce themselves because I don't think I've met them. So that'll be awesome.
There will be other booths there, but there will only be one Ozark Fence booth.
That's true.
And you
That
will
is
know
true.
it because it will be orange,
Yes.
shocking.
Yeah.
And it will have a big orange tint up, and it'll have orange Ozark Fence flags up. So
Can't miss us.
won't be able to
Can't
miss
miss
us.
us.
So
All right. Well,
have
yes.
them come say
Have them
hello.
say hi.
All right. All right. So how's Fence going, Sarah?
Well, I don't know if you knew this or not, but it rained a little bit this week.
Oh, you know what? I do remember that. I do seem to remember that it rained
A lot.
several days.
Yeah, I actually took my kayak to work yesterday.
Actually,
I don't know if you noticed that.
we were wondering. She came toting in, kayak behind in the back of the truck. We're like,
Yeah.
does she know something we don't?
You never know. People need their fences, Joe. They need their fences.
They do. They do. Actually, it rained every day except for today.
Yes.
Every single day this week.
Yes. Yesterday afternoon, the sun peeked out, and
Yes.
I thought it was a trick.
Well, I know, and I wasn't prepared for it.
No.
I was driving. I remember this just like it was yesterday. I was driving, and all of a sudden, I was blinded, and
Yeah.
I forgot what to do.
You were quite literally blinded by the light.
I was blinded by the light. I'm not gonna sing it for everyone here's sanity. I'm not gonna sing
That's
it, but yeah, it was. I had to grab my sunglasses real quick because there's like a brief, like half a second where it's like, whoa, what do you do? What do I do? That's
Yeah.
right.
Not prepared.
This is why I have sunglasses.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
but now it's nice and sunny today.
Yeah, it's nice and sunny.
It's supposed to be almost 60 today.
Yeah.
So not
about
only
time.
is this a fin show, now it's a weather show. Big weather show. Big weather show.
Absolutely.
Looks like some other people are saying
Oh,
hello.
All right. Oh man.
Hey Joe, what's up, J Dub? J Dub's
Hmm.
one of my best friends, one of my besties.
He is.
Actually,
Okay.
and so JW's family, the DeLong family with DeLong Plumbing, is actually where we got the orange idea.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So they've been doing yellow for generations. Like they are
Yeah.
deep in yellow. And it's actually so what's funny, it's just a quick aside. So when we were coming up with our jingle, the Ozark Fence jingle, and when we created it, we had to kind of announce it and
Sure.
tell people about it. So we did this really cute commercial where it was my daughter Macy, and the whole premise was she was trying to think of a jingle for us, right? And with their permission, one of the things that she said, she's like, "Oh, I know. The big orange truck will let you know we're there." And I said, No. That's our buddy. That's our friends over at the DeLongs. They've already done that. Because their jingle,
Yes.
big yellow truck will let you know we're there.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a very long side story. Very long aside.
Right.
But hello, J-Dub, and thank you for saying hello to me.
Well, wait a minute. Let me just jot down here. Oh, and Sarah. Oh, hello.
Well,
Hi, Misty. Oh, and JW. Oh, hello. Actually, rumor has it that Misty wants a fire pit in the backyard.
I saw that, and it's
I
not
did.
just any fire pit.
It's beautiful.
It's like a fire pit and it's couches around it.
Yeah, I think
It's
I'm
like a
gonna
whole
live there.
sunken.
Yeah.
Very cool. But I
It's
did
pretty
see, did you see someone's comment on that about the snakes and the bugs will love it too?
Well, then maybe I won't.
So yeah, I was out. At
Yeah.
first I was like, that's neat.
I did vote yes.
And then I saw snakes. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
This isn't a very big snake show.
Ooh,
This is not a big snake show.
no,
Not that they're bad. They're not our favorite.
no.
Animal or
I have a very
reptile.
much mutual respect.
Okay.
Like I see them and they leave me alone. I leave them alone. When they start encroaching, then I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, buddy.
Yeah. You
Get
give
outta
them,
here.
Yeah, you give them one of those, get on out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they don't really have ears. They can't hear it, but
No, that's
They know.
true. But
because they do usually get on out of here.
They do.
when you
I
say
think it's
that.
like a vibration thing. So the louder you say it, the more like, and if you stomp
Yeah.
your feet a couple times, it helps. It does.
Yeah.
But
Good to know. Very, very big snake fact show.
yes. Yeah, that too. All right. Back
else
to
we
here.
got?
Oh, all right. I'm good. I'm happy it's sunny.
Yeah.
It's been a kind of a long week with the rain.
It has.
It's-
Well, and you were doing other activities this week.
Yes.
in the rain.
Yes. We were moving TJ, which is super exciting, but you don't remember how much stuff you have until you go to move it.
So you go to move it. That's exactly
Especially,
right.
Going from a 3-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom shouse.
Shouse.
Yes, shop house.
Oh,
Love
shop
it.
house.
Cool, but it's a little small. So it's been quite the adventure. But no, it's been really good, and it'll be exciting. But it's been a busy long week.
Yep.
So it's been good though.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Oh, Caleb.
Oh yeah, you like the new shirt? So Logotology out of Texas sent me this shirt. It's for the YouTube channel. This is Joe Everest, the fence expert show, and I'll
show him back.
Flip around here. You can't see it, but I'm trusting.
No, you can. Yeah, it says the fence expert. Yeah, that looks awesome.
So cool. Thank you to the Logotology folks.
That's awesome.
Turned out super nice.
Yeah.
So hello, Caleb.
All right. Oh, we got Taylor.
Oh, hello, Taylor. Hello, kids. Although one of the kids is supposed to be taking a nap, but so we have this app where you can watch the crib, like not crib, but watch the bed. And so Jackson's getting older, but we have it there from when he was a kid, and it sends me little notifications when there's motion. So as we were setting up for the show, I was pulling it up. Jackson was being adventurous during that time.
Yeah.
His animals were having adventures.
Yeah. Well, he put them to sleep first.
Yeah, he put the animals to bed up on like the little shelf, and he told them good night. And then he started laying down, but then he decided he didn't want to nap. So, and then the animals started taking adventures. Anyway, hello, kids.
It happens. All right, we got Nathan.
What's up, Nathan? Happy Halloween to you.
Yes.
Happy Halloween Eve.
Yes.
Technically, I mean, let's be very clear here.
Correct.
But hello, Nathan. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Moss growing in some areas. Okay.
Great fence question.
Awesome fence, and really relevant this time of year too.
Yes.
So the best alternative is to clean it with an algicide.
Okay.
So that's what we do. Yep. Whenever we go out, we do offer that as a service as well. But they use an algicide because you don't want to pressure wash it. What happens when you pressure wash it is it really splinters that wood, which kind of defeats the purpose of trying to clean. So the whole idea of cleaning it is to keep the algae from really penetrating that wood and letting the moisture and UV get into it. So when you power wash it, it splinters the wood, which is kind of counterintuitive. So you're kind of defeating the purpose, which is it's common and that's okay. It's not just not how we do it. So we just use an algicide. It's a little bit easier on the wood. Also helps brighten up that color too. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I really tell people when we're talking about cleaning wood is, I mean, you can use a power washer, but it's a really harsh process. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're using, obviously, per the name, pressure. Yep. And depending on which nozzle you use, which head you use, you could be putting a lot more pressure than you need on that fence board. And, if you can be just exactly precise on exactly how far off, you could have a nice even coat. But, if you're closer on some boards and not enough, or further away on other boards, you could get a really inconsistent look.
Yeah.
But the big takeaway, though, is so you're stripping off the outer layer. So you're taking away all the algae and moss. But the problem is you're using so much pressure, you're actually driving a portion of that deeper into the wood.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So while it looks clean, the mold and algae spores are actually getting forced deeper into the wood. And ultimately, you'll start seeing it come back even sooner. So, but using an algicide, then it basically it kills it.
Yeah.
So it down to it does it. Moss has a root system, but down to the roots, it kills the entire organism.
Yeah.
That way, when we rinse it off, we rinse off everything, let it dry again, and then we come back and stain it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Great question, J-Dub. Yeah. So let me tell you this. So let me give you a DIY tip on this. So the algicide we use is similar to like a Clorox bleach.
Okay.
So sodium hypochlorite is the base ingredient. And what I would recommend, so sodium hypochlorite or Clorox bleach that you typically get at a Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, wherever, usually about 6%.
Okay.
And it's going to be a bit harsh for using it on your fence. What I would do is take a 2-gallon pump up sprayer, put in a gallon of that and a gallon of water.
Okay.
That way we take it from 6% down to 3%.
Yeah.
Still be careful with it. It still could burn your lawn. Wet your lawn down really nicely before you use it, and then go ahead and spray it on. Let it sit maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. And
then go ahead and rinse it off. So now, obviously, our process is a little bit more in depth. It has a little bit different equipment. But for the DIY crowd that does it at home, it's a great solution.
Yeah. I did that with my deck a few weeks ago.
Oh, how'd that turn out?
well, good.
Oh.
What happened was I used a little too much dye indicator.
Oh.
So at first I said, you know what? I want to know where I'm spraying this, right?
Yeah.
And I do it with my weeds. So I'll just put a little bit of dye in. Well, then it wasn't blue enough. The problem was I used blue.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I'm going to put a little more in there. And I used a little too much. And I was using one of those little weed pumpers, and it looked like Avatar on my deck.
You turned your deck blue.
Yes, I did. But I used a little more of the algicide, cleared that off, and then it ended up actually being really, really pretty. So I'm getting ready to stain it, which will be really exciting.
So the deck is super clean.
Very clean. Very clean, yeah. And the dye indicator did come off, but it was
and
a little
so
traumatizing.
Yeah, it can be the first time too. So the dye indicator we use like in our process, so we use a red indicator, and when you mix it with the algicide, it comes out pink.
Yes, it's like a beautiful fuchsia.
Hot pink. And it's a little bit it takes you back a little bit when you see it. So, but it's a really good indicator for where we've been so that we make sure we don't miss a spot.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially if we're doing, so we also do roofs and houses. That way we're making sure, but it is a bit shocking to see it first.
Yeah. So less is more for the do-it-yourselfers, for sure.
There you go.
All right, let's see what everyone else is saying here. Oh,
well,
JW loves the shirt too.
There you go. Thank you,
like
Logotology.
It's a hit. Well,
he's not having a nap today.
Nope.
But he's gonna stay in that bed. I am that dad. I'm like, listen,
okay.
You're gonna stay in the bed whether you take a nap or not. So
yep.
For better or worse.
I mean, I get it. I'll take a nap for him.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
How is that? As we grow older, we're like, listen, kid, you're going to want to take this nap later. Yeah. Like, you will regret the day you don't take naps. Yes. So take all the naps you can now. But then the next part of you thinks like, this kid has more energy than, a nuclear submarine. Ooh. So, I thought about that. You see that quote, when you're not a parent, you see the quote, you're like, I wish I could like bottle up my kid's energy. And you're like, yeah, right. That is a very real thing. Yes. That is a very real thing.
Yes.
Like at the end of the night, it's so late. And Jackson's like running laps around the house. Just go to bed so I can go to bed, please. Like,
right.
Listen, we all need to go to bed right now.
Yeah. But then, the good news is, they're really energetic, but then they're almost like a puppy. They're really energetic and then they just crash.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot in between.
No, there's very little warning. So you just really got to know your kids to be like, you look at your watch, you're out with some friends, you're like, all right, guys, listen, we need to go right now. I know he seems like he's perfectly fine right now, but we're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
We've got about 15, 20 minutes and this ship is going to come unglued. It will sink very quickly.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Oh, we got some more questions. All right. Mark, hello. Imported products from the manufacturer.
Yeah, so Mark brings up this question. So Mark and I had breakfast Wednesday, I believe. Okay. And so Mark has a company that produces fittings and that. So we had a really great breakfast talking about, not only his products, but just products in general. And one thing I learned from that breakfast is product liability.
Yeah.
So he told me a story about a gate that had a latch on it. And actually you'll be interested in the story. So a horse, so this gate was open, of course it had a latch on it, and the horse spooked, and the horse sideswiped into that latch. And so it really, really messed the horse up. Yeah. Just, and the owners of the horse then came back and said, well, we're going to sue. It was a prized horse.
Oh, wow.
We're going to sue the installer of the fence. Well, then the installer says, well, that's fine, but I just use this latch from this manufacturer. Yeah. So you kind of followed it back up the food chain, if you will, and come to find out it was an imported latch, and the importer didn't have, they had product liability insurance, but it wasn't sufficient. And that's where, the court systems stop at the U.S. border. You can't sue a foreign company in the United States courts. So everyone learned a very valuable lesson in that everyone should carry product, liability insurance.
Absolutely.
But also more so is the story goes is make sure that whoever you're using is using a supplier that has sufficient product liability. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah. It was something that I had never really thought about.
Yeah.
You just assume that the supplier you're using, A, puts out a good product, and B, has sufficient insurance. But it's certainly a question I'll be asking moving forward.
Yeah.
Is product liability. So, yeah. So and that was a really nice segue into Mark's. They produce hardware. It's domestic made.
Okay.
They have the product liability insurance.
Okay.
And that's actually
awesome.
kind of where this started. He had mentioned that, and I said, well, school me on why that's important.
Right.
Why should I be sure to ask about that? And so, yeah.
Okay, that's a good point.
Great point, Mark.
Yeah. What's crazy is I was actually horse sitting a couple years ago, and the exact same situation happened to me. That's why I was like, wait a minute, where is this happening?
Okay.
But it was on one of the latches that like a self close. So the gate goes and it latches, and it's got kind of it hits one and then stops at the other one.
Yeah.
So the gate was open. The horses were running around. It was cold, and I guess at some point he had slid into that. So I get there and the horse has a gash. I mean, about this big, 2 inches deep. And I originally thought animal attack because they live by woods.
Yeah.
And so I kind of did a perimeter check and I noticed on that latch. So I got a grinder out, took it off and everything. But that's crazy that sort of thing happens like more than once. Because I'm like, man, it's something you don't think about even as a horse owner.
Yeah. So I legitimately didn't know about that story.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. That's small world. So
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So great
crazy.
question, Mark.
Yeah.
Is
that's awesome.
Manufacturers' product liability.
Yeah.
How long do you predict your staining and fencing season will last this year in your area? That's always like a crystal ball question.
It is.
So this week it was really wet.
Yeah.
Incredibly wet and cold. The first part of this week, we're talking highs in the mid 40s and wet. Now next week looks like it's sunny. It'll.
There we go.
Our microphone keeps on muting. But it's calling for, highs in the mid 60s or high 50s, low 60s. I would say though, we're getting pretty close to the end of it.
I would agree.
I would say we're probably within a month from being towards the end of the season. Now, so Caleb's company, Sand Seal Experts, produces a really nice oil base. So we're not as concerned with temperature as much as we would with like a water base.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
But still there's limitations to it, right? I mean, you only want you're dealing with a liquid. So, my concern is you have guys applying that liquid. It's still getting on them. It's going to cool them down quicker than normal. And anyway, there's a lot of concerns to go with it. So to answer your question, Caleb, I'd say probably about another month. I'd say now I could be surprised. I would love it if it lasted 2 months. If it got us to the end of the year, that would be phenomenal. But I'd say another month. And the nice thing about the staining though is, we could have, we've been known to have weeks where in the middle of winter where it gets up into 40s and 50s.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's not to say that, whenever the cold snap hits and sticks around that we're just shut down until next spring. I know last winter we kind of found some pockets here and there to get out and do some staining in. So, but I would predict it would probably slow down here in about next month or so.
And that's just the staining division. I wouldn't say that for pre-stain. I would say that's still going to be in pretty high demand right now.
Well, and so so actually that's a really nice segue into pre-staining because we talked about it last week.
Yes.
We're in the process of obtaining a building that's going to let us pre-stain indoors. Yes. So something we are incredibly excited about. And when that happens, we can pre-stain all year round and regardless of weather, So right now we've got guys pre-staining like crazy because it's a great day outside. Yep. Before all this rain started, we really made sure we tarped up a few bundles of pickets really well, make sure they stayed dry. But in the future, with an indoor facility, we can just stain no matter what.
Yeah,
so
that'll be nice.
Yeah, so while the on-site staining will have to slow down because of weather, hopefully the pre-staining will, just chug right along.
Keep on going.
Now, on the subject of pre-staining, you brought a picture.
Yes, I did. Yes,
because we talked about last week. You were going to bring a picture because Chestnut. We're talking about Chestnut.
Yes.
Chestnut on the Western Red Cedar. So let me. This is the first time I'm doing this. So bear with me. We'll see how this goes.
There we go. All right, and it's kind of a dual picture because not only does it show the beautiful color of chestnut, but it also shows horizontal, which is increasingly more popular, which is great.
It looks great. So what this is, Sarah, it looks like we used 2x4s on the horizontals.
Yep.
And then we used a Postmaster post.
Yes.
I know that because you see the vertical picket there.
Yes.
It's covering up the Postmaster post.
Yeah.
So that's a Western red cedar coated in the chestnut. Now, the important thing to see here, though, Sarah, and one thing that we try to talk about a lot is you see a lot of variations of color in that wood. I like that you picked this picture because you see, you see some really light browns, you see some dark browns, you see some mediums, and they're all kind of, interwoven. They're all kind of mixed together.
Yeah,
that's really, and this is really typical of what we would see on site. Absolutely. Is just a variety of the colors.
Yeah, it makes it nice because they're all within the same tone, same color. There's a little bit different shade. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it turned out really great. Customer's really happy with it, and you see Scott got a little artistic with the picture taking. I like it. The flowers.
Scott's photo taking is on point. So he actually took photography classes in college.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that about him until we started chatting about some of the pictures he had submitted or turned in. I was like, man, Scott, these pictures look amazing. Like, you are on point on this photography. He's like, well, yeah, I mean, I took a class in college.
That's awesome.
You're kidding. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So,
awesome. All right.
I'll bring us back there. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we got a comment from Drew. All right.
No Halloween. So that was a discussion, Drew.
It was.
That was a discussion. But we had kind of decided we wanted to do a costume reveal at Track and Treat tonight.
Yes.
We didn't want to give it away.
Yeah.
It's not that we procrastinated and got our costumes at the very last moment.
Definitely not.
That's not at all what happened.
No.
But yeah, we talked about it, but we're going to do a big reveal tonight at Track and Treat.
Yep.
And so we're actually going to do a live from there.
Okay.
Sarah doesn't even know this. I just thought about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in our costumes at Track and Treat.
Okay.
And we'll do a live broadcast from there.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. Okay. Oh my word. All right. Jake.
We get same thing. So
we're patient.
Yeah. So this is like a nice segue. This is like a teaser into tonight's live video.
True.
This afternoon's live video. Yeah, tune in. That's exactly what we were doing, Sarah.
Yeah, it was definitely
without
planned.
even knowing it. Yep. We were like teasing this afternoon's live broadcast.
Yes,
very professional. This is we're a pretty big media program here. Like we're figuring this out.
Ahead of the curve. Yeah,
that's right.
So Jake actually used to work with me at the Cardinal Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. Well, I think so. Jake probably does it. Yeah, but we had a lot of fun. Good guy. He had a desk inside. And so I did a lot of he did sales.
Okay.
So I did a lot of the running around. Well, sales got to leave before kind of the production crew. So I would rearrange his desk just for him, just, help him reorganize.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a fun little Easter egg hunt every morning.
Yeah.
To get there.
So that's the thing is, I don't know if this is like all people, but like I'm kind of particular about my desk because I know where everything is.
Yeah.
It might not look like it to like an outside observer. They might look at my desk and think like a bomb exploded in a filing cabinet. Like just it's everywhere. Sure. But I know where everything is.
Yes.
Do not touch it. Do not mess with it because I know when I put things like in order.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I needed this and I did put this there 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So now I need to go down my stack. That's a 2 week level.
Yes.
That's where it's going to be. So
it's your bomb that exploded in the filing cabinet.
No, it's just my organization style.
Oh.
Some people might not see it as organized, but it's my organization style. Here's the thing is like, don't try to push your organization style on me.
Sure. I would definitely call it organization. Definitely. All right. I got Rachel. Thank you. Yeah. It looks, they did a really good job with that.
Chestnut is one of my favorite colors.
Yep.
It is. I mean, they're all my favorite. It's kind of like your kids. You love them all.
Sure.
You have some favorites.
Yeah. Some you like more than others in moments for sure. Yeah.
But so chestnut's definitely one of our favorites. So it's our nice medium tone.
Yeah. Right? A little more red.
Yeah.
So I love it.
And that's what you saw in the picture. You saw that it brought some of the red out. It brought some of the boards are darker than others.
Yeah.
So the other two that we prefer, or we like giving three choices. There's, as we talked about a few weeks ago, there are a multitude of options.
Yep.
But we like giving a light, a medium, and a dark. A cedar, a chestnut, and a walnut. I just try to give people options, but not overwhelm them with options.
Yeah.
The thing with cedar is you're not going to see that variance, right? So cedar is really, it's going to enhance the color. And then on the other side, walnut is going to coat really well.
Yes.
We talked last week that walnut's really good at, blending in a new fence with an old fence.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the problem is you're not going to see, it's going to look more uniform.
Yep.
So chestnut's kind of a nice little medium there. It's going to give you a variety, but still a really good look.
Well, it's just kind of a different color too. You don't see it on a ton of fences. And so I think people are really drawn to that because it's something that maybe they hadn't thought of themselves. And they're like, that looks great and it'll stand out. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Rachel. All right, Joe. Yep.
Joe, I said that.
I mean,
that's literally the thing. That was my DIY tip.
I'm the CEO.
That's not what that means.
On my side, not sure I was saying this fence. Okay, yeah, and so that's a really good point. So we have a lot of people that ask that. They say, "Hey, a lot of times when we're cleaning, we're also going to end up staining it."
Sure,
I say more often than not. So we get that a lot. Hey, can I just stain my side? Can I just wash my side? That sort of thing. So it kind of depends on what your purpose is. I would say, like for that.
Yeah, the answer is yes, but
yeah, especially with stain.
Yeah,
because stain, a lot of times it penetrates all the way through.
Yeah.
So depending on the color and the type of wood and how old, I mean, there's definitely lots of variables, but a lot of times it can come out kind of spotty on the other side.
Yeah, well, and I've seen that on the cleaning side.
Oh, really?
So So when we're applying the cleaner, you don't apply it just precisely, like within a fraction of an inch. It's a spray-on process. So you're going to see cleaner that wraps around on the other side. So when we go clean one side, we'll come around, and the other side's, not halfway clean, but it's already, the cleaning process is already started on the other side because excess outer side has pulled through the board or soaked around the edge of the board.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, so you're really going to see that on either one. I was really surprised. So when we were testing out Caleb's product, the Sand Steel Experts product, I was really surprised how well it pulled through the board. Yeah. He had told me that, and I don't know what I was expecting, but when we stain the first, test part of the test boards, it really does pull it through the board.
That's great.
And it looks almost polka dotted. But no, to your point, that's usually what we try to tell people. Yeah. Yes, but this is what it's going to look like on the other side.
Yep.
And your neighbor's probably not going to like it.
Yeah, definitely worth having that conversation with the neighbor for sure. Yeah. And a lot of times if neighbors have left it to the point where you feel like you need to wash and stain it, are they going to care? If
Sure.
But it's definitely worth having that conversation with.
Absolutely.
You have to live with them. Yeah.
I would say thanks, Joe, but I'm not going to because that was my DIY tip.
Oh, we got Michelle.
Hello,
Thank
Michelle.
You. Hi, Michelle.
Thank you. So Michelle is like the captain of the pink collar ship.
Yep.
She's the head honcho in charge over there. Yes. She does a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. And we love Lori. So Lori's with Pink Collars and
rock star.
Phenomenal. Cannot say enough good things about her.
Yes.
Well, our entire team, but in this particular comment, Lori.
Right.
And so and Lori really can't say enough great things about Michelle and her leadership.
That's true.
And were you telling me Michelle has a podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
So Michelle does have a podcast. She and several other ladies, and so they. What's great about this podcast is they each have a niche that they're like the pro in.
Yeah.
So you've got like a QuickBooks Pro, and you have a marketing pro, and you have Lori's is operations, like operations, procedures, steps, that sort of thing. Because we've talked about this before. When we brought Pink Collars in, one of the biggest thing they did is help organize our workflow as far as where does the knowledge go? How does the communication go? And so that's absolutely her strong suit is,
awesome.
Order of operations and procedures. So, so Lori, why don't you, Lori, I'm sorry, Michelle, why don't you drop in the comments below your podcast? Because I think a lot of people that watch this show would like to watch that show. Yeah. I think they would get a lot out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. They brought us at Trello. Trello's been really helpful for project management personally. So that's been awesome.
So it does several things, right? So Trello, we use a lot for project management, but it's basically also a repository of all of our knowledge and all of our information.
Yeah.
So we have like a frequently asked questions board where, all of, because you don't know, if I'm training someone new on what I do, there's going to be some things I gloss over.
Right.
Because they're just what I always do. And it's just, that's how I've always done it.
Yep.
So I don't think to explain it that much. So what the board does is great is if there's a question that comes up more than twice, it ought to go on the board.
On the board.
You know, so the answer should go up there. But yeah. So Michelle, thank you.
Yes.
I mean, we really do appreciate you and your organization and your organizational skills as far as procedures.
Absolutely.
All right. So with the wet weather, how far behind is this week? How far behind are we this week?
So we didn't really progress as far as timeline goes. The only difference being we did have a customer that had a beautiful, pristine lawn.
Yeah.
And he knew his neighbors weren't going to be happy if, we were working on it because before you can make it beautiful, you got to make a little bit of a mess,
That's right. That's right.
And so he asked if we could postpone his project.
Yeah.
So otherwise we would have done it. But in this particular case, he wanted to postpone it just because of weather.
Yeah. Well, so where I was leading you was we actually haven't fallen behind. So we're still on schedule. Because we've talked about this actually for the last couple of weeks about how when we schedule project, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, leaves Wednesday as a flex day. And the guys, I tell you what, our guys are phenomenal. And they're, you hear a lot of people talk about, well, everyone's a rock star. And I really firmly believe, in our organization, we're an organization of rock stars. Because, I mean, these guys go above and beyond. They came back each day just so wet and so cold. But they got the job done.
Yep.
Right. They say, well, we got it done and we're going home. Good to see you. We're out of here. Yeah. We're going to get dry and get warm. But so those guys really just kicked it into gear. And we had a project that started a little bit late last week.
Yes.
That
property.
Yep. We had a little, there are some property issues. But so they actually used Wednesday as a catch-up day to get that project done. So we had one project that postponed, but we actually wrapped one up from last week. But we're right on schedule.
Yeah.
I really like this. I really like this way of scheduling. We might, so technically we lose a day of production by not scheduling production on a Wednesday.
Sure.
But we also don't fall behind.
Yeah.
So I will take a quote unquote loss of production day if that means that we don't fall behind.
Absolutely.
If someone, what I'm very proud about is if someone gives us today their contract and deposit, you give them a week that we're going to be there.
Yep.
So we're going to be there the week of November X.
Yes.
And barring tremendous acts of God, we will be there that week. And it's typically 6 or 7 weeks later.
Yeah.
So, and there's always more than one way to perform a task, right? So I'm in several Facebook groups with other fence guys where we kind of chat about what works for us and what works for you. And everyone tries to get better.
Yeah.
This question actually came up recently about how do you schedule your jobs? And it sounds like a lot of guys they'll just schedule them in order, right? So your project 20-137, that just means it's 2020 and that's 137th project of the year. And then the next one's 138, 139. And we'll get to you when we, you're in our line, but we're not really sure when we'll be there. We think it's 6 or 7 weeks because they have production days every day of the week.
Okay.
That's absolutely one way to do it. And just because there's 2 or 3 ways of doing it doesn't mean that there's one right way and 2 wrong ways. Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of right ways to do it. I like our way because we can give a client a little bit of peace of mind that this is the week we'll set some expectations. We're going to be there this week. And not only are we going to be there this week, but we're also going to communicate with you in between. We're going to let you know when, we're going to let you know when the project gets scheduled. We're going to let you know when we schedule the utilities. If there's a hiccup, we're going to communicate that with you, but we don't have to do that very often. Communicate hiccups.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's actually me giving, I say all that to say that's me giving you guys a compliment on the residential side, on the operations side, that you guys do that really well.
Thank you. We work really hard at it. And at the end of the day, I mean, as a consumer, you want to be in the know of when your projects are. And so we just like to pass that along.
Communication, no matter what we're talking about, communication is always huge.
Yes.
Right. Whether it's, consumer to vendor, or whether it's in a relationship,
absolutely.
You see, the majority of problems majority of problems could have usually been resolved through communication.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I heard this quote once that frustration is simply unmet expectations.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? And so the problem is when there's no communication, and if it's a 6-week delay between when we can be there, between when we get the deposit and when we can be there, well, that's 6 weeks of just the consumer kind of coming up with their own expectations.
Yes.
Because we're not communicating. So what we try to do is, if anything, over communicate.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on. Here's what you can expect. Here, on and on, so that there's, no frustrations.
Yes.
Or if there are frustrations, that we can answer them and handle them very quickly.
Absolutely.
Communication is it's really, really important.
Absolutely.
So we try to, if anything, I used to tell Joey, listen, we're going to communicate so much with you. You will be relieved when the project's over because the communication will stop. Yeah. But it doesn't stop. No. We follow up. We like to see, a month after the project, we like to follow up. Hey, how's everything look? Because right when the project's done, it's going to look great. But a month later, we want to make sure it still looks great. Yeah. Do the gates still work well? Sometimes they need adjustment. Sometimes the posts settle unevenly. So we want to come back out. So we usually do that a month after the project, then 6 months after the project, then a year after. Say, hey, just checking in. Want to make sure everything's right. Basically, what it is we want to catch small adjustments.
Yes.
Before they become big problems.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely.
I'm not sure what rabbit hole we were headed down when I started that little rant, but yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think it also, it kind of segues into a different service that we also offer as far as staining goes, which is the annual maintenance plans.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever we have a customer that has a pre-stain job, we also offer them a maintenance plan. We have 3 different levels of them, but the gist of it is we come out and we inspect the fence twice a year.
Yep.
We also clean it. Now, those are 2 separate trips. Typically I'll be the one that goes out there and inspects it. Because honestly, I'm going to be a lot harder on it than our customers are, because I have high expectations for our crews, and I know they do as well. But we go out, check it, and then we also clean it twice a year.
Well, for one of the plans we do.
One of the plans, yes. For the premium plan, we clean it twice a year. And then after the second year the fences had stain, we actually restain it.
We'll reapply it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Just so we keep it within that manufacturer's warranty as well.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Because the Stain Seal Experts has, depending on the product, a 2 or 3 year warranty.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that the stain on the fence is always under warranty.
Yeah.
That it's always looking great. Yep. Now, when you say twice a year, when is that?
Typically spring and fall. So if we have a customer that has the fence installed in the spring, then it's a year, 365 days. So it's not necessarily if you sign up in spring, it's re-upped in January. It's not. It's not something like that. It's a full year. So we honor that. So typically, yes, spring and fall, because those are our biggest pollen and.
Yep. Well, and even on like the basic plan, which is basically a once a year cleaning annual checkup, we like to perform those in the spring. Yeah. That way, folks are spring cleaning. You're getting ready to, if we're not in the current, pandemic conditions, you're going to have graduations, graduation parties. A lot of stuff happens in the backyard because we've been cooped up all winter. We're ready to get outside and enjoy our backyards.
Yeah.
So we come in the spring, we'll go ahead and clean it. That way, fence is looking great for whatever you got planned in the backyard.
Yeah.
And the inspection is the big thing. So like you said, you'll walk through, you'll check the fence, see if there was hail damage over the wintertime, or just if there's any damage that might need addressed. Also checking the gates.
Yeah,
the gates. One. So nationwide. Now this is like a 2017 study, but nationwide, the largest callback on fences was gates, gate adjustments specifically.
Yeah.
Now we've taken a lot of that out of it as much as we can. Steel posts, steel gate frames, hardware that attaches straight from the steel post to the steel gate frame.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens. Like I say, posts settle at different rates, and the gate might need adjustment. Yeah. And it's usually a quick deal.
Yeah. That's what's nice about the hardware that we do use is it's normally a 10-minute ordeal.
Yep.
And a lot of times too, I almost wonder if it's not like wind from storms too, like really high winds.
Yeah.
Just like anything, it causes things to shift.
Yeah, and we see it occasionally that, during a high wind situation, maybe the homeowner's using the gate coming in or out, and the wind grabs it and really just slams it open or closed.
Yeah.
And so the gates need a little adjustment after that. Yep. But that's something that, if the homeowner lets us know, then we'll send a crew out and adjust it.
But
But
definitely,
like, let's be honest, sometimes I forget things.
Yeah.
And so sometimes our clients probably forget. And so that's a really great opportunity for, if you're out there, you notice that you're like, ooh, this needs adjustment. I need to have Scott and his guys come out, quick 5 minutes, get it adjusted.
Yeah. Well, and when you're using something every single day, I mean, even if it's slightly, you're getting a little worse every day, you're not going to notice it as much.
Yep.
And I'm definitely going to be a lot harder on it going, wait a minute, this shouldn't give you any resistance. So why is it giving you slight resistance?
Yep. Well, so we see that occasionally. So when I was going back and looking at it, I had one customer, like the gate just wouldn't shut right. And they're like, oh, well, you just have to pull up on it and then shut it. Like, no. You shouldn't have to. No, this is like a quick 5-minute thing. And then you can just shut it like a door. You don't have to pick it up or anything. Like, oh, well, I just thought that's how gates work. Well, it used to be how they were.
Yeah.
When they were when they sagged a lot and all that. So I think people might just be used to that.
Yeah.
But it's a quick 5-minute adjustment on the latch and it's back to closing like it should.
Absolutely.
But
all right, let's see what Pat says. Ooh.
Pat, I haven't seen Pat in a while. Pat, it is so good to hear from you.
Yes.
We used to see Pat every single week.
Yeah, every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Yeah.
So Pat was one of the guys that delivered our material from Kansas City, from one of our suppliers in Kansas City.
Yes.
And we got to see him every week.
Yes.
He always had a joke.
Yes.
It was fun to see Pat. And Pat loved Max.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Max is my Sheltie. He's 8 now. Yeah, he's 8 years old now. But he used to come in to work with me every single day. And so, Max and Pat were buddies.
Yep. I got the sneaking suspicion that Pat came in the office to see Max.
He did. Yeah.
And we just happened to be there.
Well, and he was not above bribery.
No.
There were dog treats.
He would bring
pocket.
Treats.
Oh,
That's right. And the reason I have a sneaking suspicion that that's what happened is because he told us that's what.
I believe that.
Like, oh, where's Max? Hey, Max. Oh, hey guys. Hey, Max. How are you? Like, well, I just wanted to say hi to Max before I head back.
Yep, that's exactly it. Yeah, they were good pals.
That is very good hearing from you.
Yes.
I'm glad you're doing well.
And for the record, if Max is doing the scheduling, it would be whatever customer had more squirrels in their backyard.
Yep.
That would get first priority for sure.
Well, so this is going to be slightly a joke, but slightly real. So one question we get sometimes is, well, if I pay a little more, can I bump up the schedule? Yeah. Like if I gave you 10% more,
I do.
Could you move me ahead a little bit? And the answer is always no, because A, that's a nightmare to try to reschedule 6 weeks worth of projects. Yeah. But then B, all right, so you paid 10% more to get bumped up. How mad would you be if someone behind you said, well, I'll pay you 15, and then we bump them ahead of you. And then you're like, well, I paid you 10%. Or what about the person that says, I shouldn't have to pay you extra to get timely service? It's a whole thing. So generally, the answer is no. And we can usually put an asterisk next to the project, knowing that they would like it done sooner for X, Y, or Z reason, so that if we have a project that does reschedule because of weather, that we know, okay, well, this project would like to go into that spot.
Yes.
Doesn't happen often, hardly ever, but we know. But the answer is no, that you can't. And so that's why Max doesn't do the scheduling. Correct. Because Max, I love Max to death, but you know him as well as I do. If they offer him a treat, they're getting bumped to the front.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 2 treats to the front.
I would say tennis ball. Tennis ball to the front.
Tennis ball, they'll be out tomorrow. You give him a tennis ball. He's like, I'm calling them right now, and they will be out there tomorrow.
Yes, he's a fetching fool. Oh, my word.
Doesn't necessarily always bring it back, but he will go get it.
No. Yeah. He will definitely go get it.
He will bring it back to you so long as he's playful.
Yes.
But when he's done with you, he's done with you.
He needs a rest.
Yeah.
Just like the rest
he
of
will
us.
take the ball and he will go. And if you try to go get the ball, no, that is his ball.
Yeah. Oh,
and he's going to run away with it.
Right.
He said, this is my time with the tennis ball.
Yeah.
You can leave.
I'm allowing you to throw it for me.
Yes. The time for you to play with me is over.
Yes.
And you need to go back inside.
Yes. Go lay down. I tell him all the time, go lay down.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, if only dogs could talk. Like that's
so glad they can't.
Yeah. He'd be like, you know what? It's time for you to go and take a nap. You need to go sit down. Sit down. Sit. You're not listening.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
such a good dog.
That's right. All right. Well, so next week looks like a nice dry week.
Yes.
So we should be doing all sorts of fence stuff next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. Any big plans this weekend?
I don't really. Well, I have a Halloween party to go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little costume party.
There you go. There you go.
Other than that, not a whole lot. Yeah, just kind of getting everything organized and trying to declutter a little bit.
Try to make room for some things.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But no, just kind of enjoying the nice weather.
There you go.
Dogs will be happy to be outside.
After a week of rain, it'll be nice and cold. It'll be nice to have a weekend of decent temperatures and sun.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it'll be so nice to have the sun. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Jordan popped in there.
Oh. I think he could make a guest appearance. Sure.
Being muted again. And we're back.
He's not much for sitting on laps.
Yeah.
And he's just a little guy. Like he's only that big. He's a pretty small Sheltie.
And these shows go for an hour plus. Max doesn't have the attention span to be on the show for an hour.
He'd be sleeping somewhere. Sure.
And this is a small studio. Yeah. So I like that you thought that he would be sleeping somewhere. My thought is he would be all over this studio, looking if he's in a playful mood.
Yeah.
If he wants to play,
Yep.
he will be all over.
That's true.
And this is not a very big studio. This is basically the size of a medium-sized bedroom.
Yeah.
Basically, without the closet.
Yeah.
So it would become very very chaotic, I think.
I think he would be better behaved than Piper.
Yes.
Piper is my yellow lab. She's a year old and just
she's like we were talking about, kids with abundance of energy.
Oh my word. That is her. That's her. Which is, it's good. That's what you want in a hunting dog. And I'm really thankful for that.
Sure.
82% of the time. the other, I don't know. Yeah, she's a mess.
Very energetic. Very energetic. So the funny thing, the first time she met Jackson, so this is the typical dog that means well, right? And she just came up to love on him. She came up fast.
Yes. She loves very hard.
Yes.
Very hard.
Very, very, very hard.
Yes.
So now Jackson will say, Piper knocked me down, but she loves me and she was just giving me kisses. But she loves me. She knocked me down, but she just loves me. She was giving me kisses.
Yep. And it's one of those things. It's like a train wreck. You can't stop it, And you're like, oh no. Like, she means well, but
exactly.
It's hard. You can explain that.
She's just excited.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jackson, you've been excited before, and you've knocked some stuff over when you were excited. So let's keep that in mind.
But to be fair, if I had a me-sized dog running at me,
yes,
I too would probably be a little intimidated.
Yes.
I'd be very excited, but also intimidated.
Body weight, she's probably bigger than him.
Yes.
Like height, she's about his size. Yeah. So if there was something that about my height, but that was significantly larger mass size than me, running right at me, I probably wouldn't see that as a positive thing.
No. Yeah.
I would probably be just like Jackson. I would probably sit down and start crying. Like, if we're being honest, I would probably do that.
Well, on this topic here, Piper, yes.
Okay. No, Piper will not be coming on the show. That is a hard no. No,
give her a few hunts. Let her calm down a little bit. She.
We can bring a picture of Piper on the show.
Yeah, we could do that.
We'll do that. We'll do just like we did with the fence.
Piper, I do not trust all this equipment. No. Absolutely not. She's just a lot of energy, but she's a year old and she's still learning.
That's right.
So she's gotten a lot better, but she's just very passionate about everything that she does.
She means well.
She does. She's a great dog. Yeah. Great dog, but she's just a lot. Oh, hi, Mark. Thank you. Mark.
I like to hear that from someone like Mark. So Mark's ran a very successful business, a very large business for a very long time.
Yeah.
So anytime you can get a compliment from a guy like Mark,
that's awesome.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, guys, so we're kind of at the hour mark. We'll do last call for questions, comments. Now, generally, you guys the comments run about 10 seconds behind the video when we see it. So we'll give it a little bit. But yeah, so you can see us tonight at the Cardinal Stadium if you've signed up for Track and Treat. Now, it was so popular that it filled up in like 3 hours. Like, it filled up very quickly. And then they opened up another set of pods, and that filled up in like 30 minutes. So
That's real fast.
It's filled up. So don't go to the stadium thinking, if you don't have a reservation, thinking that you can go. But if you are signed up, we would love to see you.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a few guys I know over at the Cardinals. I know they've already got their thinking caps on for next year.
Oh, cool.
Just because it was so, this thing was successful before it even started.
Yeah.
Just because I think the community was looking for something like this to where they can still socially distance, they can be responsible, but they can do something that feels normal.
Yes.
With trick or treating. Now, they've got the procedures down. So what we'll be doing is we'll be placing candy on the table, and then the kids or adults will then be picking the candy up from the table and putting it in their bag.
Okay.
That way, there's no direct contact.
That's good.
We'll be wearing, of course, safety equipment, that sort of thing, and they'll be spaced out. That's why they did what they call pods. So one group of people, and then that way everyone's spaced out, socially distanced and responsible. But it's still going to feel like something that's normal.
Yes.
And I think that's important, especially for the kids.
Yeah.
If
that's true.
That's something I think about. So Jackson's 3, a year ago, he was 2, if my math serves correctly. But he's just getting to where he starts remembering things. So he doesn't really remember a trick or treat that was normal. And so it's good for him. Well, and unfortunately we didn't get signed up in time. So he won't be trick or treating tonight at Track or Treat, but I think it's important for kids his age to do things that are normal or normal-ish, as normal as can be, done safely
right now. Yeah.
Just because they need that experience. They need to feel things that are normal. And older kids too. Macy's 12 or going to be 12, and so she obviously remembers when things were normal, and and so it's good for older kids too to do things that are normal-ish.
Yeah.
Just to try to get back to some of that semblance. But,
yeah, that makes sense. Well, now here's a very important question.
Okay.
What kind of candy will we be passing out?
I don't know. So that's the next thing. So the candy's provided by the Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
So that they can verify that
good.
it was procured safely and that it's been handled safely, stored, and all that. So I don't know. We'll all find out together.
All right. It'll be on our live.
But they have it will be on our live. But they have assured us that there's plenty of candy.
Okay.
Because that's always kind of a concern. So last year at Boo at the Zoo, they talk about that being talking about successful programs. That was a resounding success. So they had folks till 10 o'clock at night trying to come through, and that's when they shut down. But so luckily we had gone to Sam's and bought a lot of candy, because I was like, guys, this is going to be really good. They're like, well, yeah, we got candy, we're fine. Because no one expected. Now this was pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, so no one had to schedule or RSVP. So they didn't know how many people were going to be there. There were significantly more. But
makes sense.
But the Cardinals have assured us that they will have plenty of candy, and they know how many people are coming because
it's true.
Everyone's already reserved, and they know how many kids to expect. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Cool.
So we will find out with everyone else what kind of candy is being passed out tonight.
That's awesome. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. Well, guys, we're wrapping up. I don't see any more comments. I'll give a shameless plug real quick.
Okay.
So I started another YouTube channel called Pinnacle Finds, and basically, so Jackson's 3. And what I want to do, I remember when I was a kid, collecting baseball cards with our dad, and going and getting the cards and rifling through them and figuring out which ones to put, in a sleeve and which one to put in the binder and all that. So I want to start that for Jackson. Now, granted, he's 3, so he will not be participating yet in the card collection.
Yeah.
But so I started a YouTube channel to kind of document the process, because I thought, how cool would it have been if I had a video series that I could, that I would have the collection now, and that I could then go back and see which pack this card was in, and which cards were with it. How did we get to that? I thought that would be so neat. So I started a channel called Pinnacle Finds, where we unwrap packs of baseball cards every single week. Awesome. I'll drop a link in the comments after this live is over. But if you guys enjoy sports cards, you should come on over. We're gonna open up. My plan is to do a recorded opening every week and then a live opening every Sunday. Ooh, and so this Sunday we're gonna have this Sunday I've got about 4 or 5 different packs. And live, I'm gonna let whoever tunes in vote on what packs I open.
Oh, I like
so it's kind of a choose your own adventure sort of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so shameless plug there as we're wrapping this thing up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, totally unrelated to fence, but it's something I'm involved in that I'm having a lot of fun with. So
That's awesome. And as always, if you're seeing this later and you have questions, plug them in and we'll take a look at those. Definitely give you an answer, but also bring it up next week too.
Yeah, that's because ultimately, guys, that's where we come up with the content that we talk about on the shows each week. Is we see what questions have been asked throughout the week. What if any problems have come up, let's talk about them on the show so everyone kind of knows what problems could come up in a project and how they're handled. Luckily, I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had any to talk about yet, but it happens.
Yes.
But ultimately, I say all of that to say you're exactly right in that if they have questions and they drop them in the comments below, that we do follow the comments all week.
Yeah.
If they don't want their comments publicly put on, they could also send us a message.
Absolutely.
And just hey, don't mention my name, but here's my question. And so we'll just say an anonymous Facebooker out there has a question.
Yep.
Or you could always email us.
Yes.
So how can they get in touch with you, Sarah?
So it's my first name. So Sarah at ozfence.com.
Yep. If you have a question for me, it's Joe at ozfence.com. That's Oscar Zebra fence.com.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
But for now, guys, we appreciate you sticking with us. And we'll talk to you guys live in what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. So something like about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. We'll do another live from Track or Treat and show you guys what we're up to.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you guys.
Yeah.